Slow down, you move too fast. Gotta make the morning last. Kicking down the cobblestones. Looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum, feeling groovy.
Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you on our podcast today. And for those of you listening to us, we are on episode 89. And I think, Amy, it was you yesterday you joined. So we're at 102 subscribers now. So thank and we've been doing this podcasting for just about a year on the nose. So we're really excited, and we're so excited to have you here. Before you introduce yourself, so Sandy's got a quote for us.
Okay, so I don't know about, I don't know if you knew much about Eleanor Roosevelt. She was a moving and shaking lady when she was part of our country and part of, helping her husband when he was the president of the United States. But she said, do one thing every day that scares you. And I think that there's really some truism in it is go against the grain and do something that's not comfortable for you, because what happens is that builds your confidence when you find that you can do something new. Something that's scary.
Yeah, and for you guys in improv, that probably happens to you every day for
All
sure.
the time.
And I want to just do a little promo, but my granddaughter who sang the song is into improv. Does she does classes in improv, and she's a major in that at the University of Washington. So and she didn't know that song when I asked her to sing it. So she learned it in a day and sang it for me, almost improv. So I don't know who wants to start, but one of you start. Tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your journey, and then we'll move to the next person, and we'll go from there.
Betsy, you want to roll this one?
All right. Well, first of all, I didn't know that you could major in improv, which is
well, no, she's not.
I want to go back to school.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about that quote, and I think there's definitely things I wouldn't do just like I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I also don't ever want to be stopped because I'm afraid of something. And I think that's like, I think it's okay to be afraid and do it anyway. Right. And that's improv. But I think really the more you do it, the less scary it is. It's like you still don't know what's going to happen, but you know that you'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And that something's going to happen and it'll probably be interesting and maybe funny. Well, thank you for having us. First of all, I have listened to your podcast and read articles, and there's so much overlap in our interests in coaching and in the arts and creativity and improv specifically. Mm-hmm. So my background, I probably first did improv when I was 12. I was just very lucky. I was living in the DC area, and Living Stage had a program for middle school students, and that was my first taste, and I was sold. And later went on to become a professional improv comedian with a couple of troupes out of Boston, and then turned to stand-up comedy and worked for decades as a stand-up comic and a television writer. I still do comedy, but a few years back, started another career and as a coach. And now I really just pursue the arts for the pleasure of it and as an artist. But I found a way a few years ago to really bring these two together. And you're going to meet Amy in a moment, but she and I met, we were on the faculty at a health coach training program. We were mentor coaches and just made a connection and started kind of co-facilitating different things. And I think it was early in the pandemic, we both had a lot of mentor coaching clients who were relatively new coaches, most of them. And all of a sudden, everybody's long-term goals are out the windows and nothing is, so we held a couple of just free workshops to help our clients to adapt their coaching to the new circumstances,
Right.
or to 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 the uncertainty. And that was the beginning of us just saying, what else can we do together? And one day I said, I really want to do improv for coaches. And Amy said, yes, let's do it. And so we did it. And that was in 2000. And we've been expanding it ever since. And it really is
Not
hard.
2000? 2000?
2020, you're right.
220? Yeah, 2020. 2020.
I just skipped 20 years there, whatever.
Okay. Forget about them.
Go with it. Yeah. But I really do think improvisation is the heart of coaching.
Yeah.
And, I loved performing. But once I started coaching, I realized it's really the same. It was the same thrill of entering in a conversation, not knowing where it was going to go, knowing that you're going to co-create this with your partner, your client, whoever. And it was exciting and a thrill, and it was useful and valuable. I mean, when you're doing improv comedy, it's so much fun to do, not that much fun to watch. But when you're doing it, it's actually valuable for the people who are there. So that's a little bit of my story. And
and I would actually say, Betsy, that I love watching the improv being done. It's because you are in there, you're feeling engaged in what you're seeing happening, because you're kind of thinking, well, what would I say or do, or how would I respond, kind of thing. So I think the audience also gains as much out of it, probably, even if as much as you guys who are doing it.
Yeah. And I love the spirit of improv and coaching, because it teaches people to be present in the moment.
Yeah.
So you have to really be there, and then real things happen. So it's so cool. Okay, Amy, tell us your story.
Your turn. I'll tell you my story. I just want to jump off of what you were all just saying, and say that the way that we're working with improv with coaches in particular, or leaders, or anyone who we're working with around communication, is very skill-based. So we take concepts from improv, we take exercises, and we create very specific opportunities for interaction for the people who are working with us in that moment, whether it's a group of coaching students or a group of leaders or whatever it is. So Betsy, I think you coined the term recently, skill-based.
Skill-based, I like that. It really cements it so that people are going to want it. You know what I mean? It's a marketable term.
Yeah.
And
it also has them, it require the way that we're doing it, it requires that people are practicing in the moment. So they're not just learning about something, they're really trying it on in a very low stakes environment.
Great.
Okay, so Amy, tell us about you. What was your journey to get where you're at?
Where was my journey? So I started out as a theater kid. I did theater all through high school. I loved it. I wasn't, necessarily going there for my career, but anytime I could get into Manhattan and take classes, I would go there, and I would take improv classes and acting classes, and I did some of that in college. And then I kind of left that part of my life behind. Many years later, I was starting to look into what's next for me, and coaching was really a great move from where I was. And I did quite a bit during that interim period between being in college and, finding coaching, of somatic work. So I learned martial arts. I did Kung Fu for a few years. I did Nia, which is a dance movement technique. I taught it for about 12, 13 years and studied it. And then I also learned self-defense. And so that's sort of my kind of area. I love the energy work and the somatic work. And then I met Betsy. And yeah, we were having a conversation one day, and she's like, we have these great conversations. She's like, I always want to do this thing with bringing improv and coaching together. And like she said, I said, yeah, let's set it up. Start it. So Betsy actually started it for a while on her own. And then we realized, like, we've really got something here. And what if Betsy can't make something? Why don't I come in and start training in case she couldn't be available? And I got hooked. And then we loved doing it together. So we got hooked in doing it together. But then one of us is always available if the other one isn't. And then we wrote a book because our students kept saying, can we have a list of those exercises we did? And we both looked at each other and said, you know what? We're happy to give it away. We give it away, but let's consolidate it, understand it as its own methodology, package it, and then give it. And put our names on it, right, Betsy?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have mine right here. And I love it.
Oh,
It's
good.
full of activities. I mean, it's just what you need as a leader so that you can go into a training or a workshop with your people and have stuff to do that you don't have to come up with. I mean, that's usually the hard part. And I love the term skill-based. It's really a hot term.
Well, and Sue and I feel really strongly about learning being FUN.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? When you can make it so that it is fun, you walk away with it being in your soul as well as in your brain. And it makes it so that people are enticed to learn more and do more and practice and find out how that works for them. So I don't want a dry training. I want something that's going to engage you and make you have a great time. And in my years of administration, I always try to have that be the central theme of what I was doing, because I knew then that I would get their attention. I would get my staff's attention.
And we hear that a lot, Sandy, from companies that engage us. Is that we get, what do they want out of the workshop? Because we always tailor it for the organization, and that's always on the list. Is we want it to be fun, and one of the things that's really fun for us is to design for a particular group, like what do they need and want, and what can we make up that would be especially fun for them.
Well, and then the energy. I mean, you go into a group, and even if they have a list of things they want, go in there and you're playing with the energy, and just them watching that is instructive to them. You know what I mean? You have to be aware and awake. You can't be asleep. So it's fabulous.
And it also keeps people out of their heads and that's a lot of the origin of the work. Was we just noticed that people were, you could almost hear their inner monologue, like, am I doing this right? Am I? And they weren't actually present because they were judging.
About the performance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it warms my heart. I wish I would have known about it 20 years ago, because I'm an old theater arts major, so I loved it anyway. But it just it's what's up, and especially today, because leaders, people talking about communication, it's all about presence and energy, and being there in the moment. So
it's interesting that you say that, because I hear like two very extreme opposites. So on one side of this extreme is the AI evolution, AI. And on the other side is leaders need to be more human. People need to ground themselves in what makes them human and what creates commonality.
Yeah.
And I find it so fascinating that, like so much else in our world right now, those are very different and
polar opposites.
Yeah.
But we know though that as leaders and influencers, that it's about relationship. So you can have all the AI you want, but you're going to bring the skill of the people forward when you connect with them on an individual basis, or one-on-one, where they can relate to you. So they can do all the AI as much as they want to, but that's not going to bring your team strength. It may be a tool they can use, but it's the connections that you make within your team, within your organization, that is going to bring you to the highest level of
Yeah.
operation.
Yeah, using AI as I just read a post this morning about, there's only so much AI can do. AI can do
Right.
the outline and, generate information for you, but AI can't be the human piece. And without the human piece, we have nothing.
Right.
And,
We, yeah.
go ahead.
No, without the AI, we have more water, but that's another issue.
Yeah. Well, I think you just have to beat your drum, ladies, because you know better, and you're going to have to share that with people, because people will lose sight. I mean, organizations will lose sight of that part of their management skills, and I think it'll be very important on the coaching end of things to bring that back, because we know that there's so much more isolation since we have the cell phones and all the things that we have available to us. We know that it's doing damage to the overall connections that we've had with people, because we're relying on that instead of having a face-to-face
Yeah.
or building a relationship. And it's crazy. I get my kids together and stuff, and everybody's sitting in a room with a telephone, sitting there texting or looking something up or whatever. So I started leaving the basket and inviting people at our family organizations to leave their phones in the basket. It's inviting, because if you do it against their will, but I want to help people be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a term comes to me that my dad used to always use, and he would use the term "something real," and improv makes it real, and your relationship needs to be real and authentic. People sense if it's not, and actually training people to be real. Sort of like the Velveteen Rabbit. All the worn and torn, tattered, but he was real. And that's what people are craving.
Mm-hmm. And we, now that people work remotely so much, we have actually figured out how to do this on Zoom, which is it, and to really quickly build those human connections. So it is in real time.
Yeah,
you have to be actually
catch it on. Yeah,
but it's incredible how quickly a group can just connect with each other and work together. It's really profound.
It is, and it's such a granular skill. I've been using that word lately, but I mean, meaning it's just kind of starts in the dirt with us. It's who we are as humans. We are. I read an article the other day that was talking about breastfeeding and how that is an infant's way to communicate. So it's just kind of there. It's how they communicate with their mother, and the environment. It isn't something we should have to relearn. We kind of forget about it, but it's there. It's really there in the dirt.
So you're saying that we need to relearn how to breastfeed?
That's how your baby is communicating. But, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm glad you took it that way, because it's probably what I really said rather than what I meant.
Anything for a laugh, right?
Oh yeah.
I think with the improv, I think people think they don't know how to do it. But I think you're right. It is in the dirt. We do it from the moment we arrive, probably even before. And what we say is not that we're teaching you improv. It's that we're helping you build the confidence in your own ability to do it, because everyone can do it. And the difference is going into it with trepidation and going into it with like, ooh, what could happen here?
Yeah. And I have to let down my guard and not I can't be a pretender.
Yeah.
I can't perform. I can't rehearse the night before. I just have to show up.
But you don't have to remember lines, which is always nice.
About it.
Well, the other thing that's very interesting to me, the more that we've been doing it over the course of a number of years, the more I understand that improv, like anything else, is a skill and a practice.
Mhm.
So whether you're doing it in theater or theater, like I used to love that TV program. I forgot whose line is it anyway?
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you know that they have practiced this, and the idea of showing up to something, perhaps being somewhat prepared, but not necessarily knowing what's going to happen. Yeah, I come in, I have my coaching skill set, I know exactly what my competencies are, but I have no idea how the conversation's going to go. The more that you practice that interaction, the more that you get comfortable with it.
Mhm.
There are fewer surprises. There's a skill there to being able to sit in the silence,
Uh-huh.
not, panic on the inside, not on the outside, let things come to you,
Sure.
as opposed to pushing always for an answer.
Right. Yeah. Well, then it becomes a muscle or a skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you can rely on it, and then maybe actually push the envelope a different way to
Yeah.
see, the element of surprise and curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to what we talked about with Eleanor Roosevelt. Do one thing every day that scares you. Because a lot of times public speaking is one of the things that they say is the scariest thing. People think they're going to die. Well, if they can do it through a way of improv, I think that would help them break through that because it's a little less structured. It's less structured, and I think it would be easier for somebody who is afraid of public speaking to kind of get their feet wet and try something that may scare them and help them realize that, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. Hey, Betsy, you want to scare them?
Sure.
Okay. We're ready.
Should we
What do you
do
have in mind?
Well, I have a question first.
Okay.
So you call it skill-based. So do you have a list of leadership or communication skills that you go off of, or what do you do?
So we have a lot of exercises, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily a list, but like in the book, we have 12 2-hour sessions. And the way that we typically do, it's always in a group because obviously
Sure.
you can improvise by yourself, but it's more fun in a group. But we always start with some kind of group warm-ups that are really about becoming present, becoming connected, but there's often built in ways that the participants don't even know, some skill that's going to lead to whatever the big thing that we're going to do next. And the second part of each session is what we call coaching with a twist. And that's where we're really highlighting some specific skill. So we call it, we tie one hand behind your back. So for example, 3-word coaching, the coach and the client each get 3 words back and forth, and you have to communicate whatever it is that you want to say in just 3 words.
Yeah.
Or a coach is only allowed to ask questions or only allowed to reflect. And really where it all builds up, and I think this is what you all were kind of leading to, is what we call new directions, because we all have habitual things we do as leaders, as coaches, as people, our habitual questions, our habitual responses to things. And what new directions is about is like, well, what else can we do in that very same moment? Okay, what else? And then starting to really expand our knowledge of ourselves and where we can go. And there's always more than one great direction we could go.
So you're really, I mean, what I'm hearing, that the underpinnings is you have a curriculum.
We do.
And it's about that. And then what else to me says, well, maybe you're pushing people into greater self-reflection.
Yes.
Which is where we grow.
That is a big piece of it too, Sue, is we don't just guide them through the exercises. We always have discussion after each thing. What did you notice?
Debrief.
Yeah,
Super
important.
Where the learning is. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm just excited. I want to go to your school so you can teach me how to do this, so that I can. It needs to get out to everybody. It needs to go to leadership school.
Well, Sue, maybe we need to make a field trip and go back and see those gals.
I think that's a good idea.
I think our next available course starts in March.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to. I mean, I love to coach, but I would love to learn how to get this into the right places, because it needs to. It's the next generation, so to speak, of coaching. It needs
Well,
to
thank
happen, ladies. And I feel like I had a paper bag over my head because I didn't even know it existed. And then somebody mentioned something. I said, "Oh, what's that?" And then, I've been trying to find out more and more about it. Okay, so do you want to do something with us?
Should we go?
Play?
We're willing to play.
Betsy, I was thinking you might have a different idea. I was thinking you are so, I am so.
Sure.
But what might you like that one?
We could do that one, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or we could also do some 3-word as well.
These gals are talking Chinese to us.
Here we are. We'll explain it.
That's
Do you
okay.
think we have time for both or only one?
How much time do we have?
We have as much time as you want.
Yep. It's open-ended.
Okay, Amy, take the lead.
All right. So I'll set us up for you are so, I am so.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bets will do 3-word right after.
Okay, sounds good.
So you are so, I am so. I'm going to give Betsy a word. I'll demo with Betsy.
Okay.
I'm going to give her a word that doesn't describe her. It might be a very unusual word. You are so purple. You are so shiny. You're so reflective. You are so stinky.
I did that to her once.
I might give you that one. And she is going to say, I am so stinky that, and give us whatever that is 4 times.
4
and
times.
Then 4 times. So Betsy, I'm going to give you,
Okay.
You are so stinky. You want that one?
Whatever you want to give me, I'll take.
I'm giving you are so stinky.
Okay. I am so stinky that I am the Lord of the Flies. I am so stinky that they've named France's #1 cheese after me. I am so stinky that I have to shower 25 times a day. I am so stinky that people know I'm coming before I've even entered the building. So I'm going to give one to Sue.
Okay, Sue, you're on, girl.
Heart beating faster.
Sue, you are so bat-like.
Bat-like. I am so bat-like that I eat in the dark. I am so bat-like that sometimes you can hear me coming. I am so bat-like that sometimes people are scared. I am so bat-like that they should be scared. Okay, now I give one to Sandy? Or do I give one? It's okay. So Sandy, okay, so Sandy, you are so yellow.
I am so yellow that I look like sunshine. I am so yellow that you think I'm a daffodil. I am so yellow that because I am so yellow because I eat yellow things. I am so yellow because it's one of my favorite colors.
And then you get to give one to Amy.
Okay, Amy. You are so tall.
I'm so not, but okay.
You get to pretend.
I am so tall that I can date the tallest basketball player. I am so tall that I walk into a room and look down from the skies above. I am so tall. This one's hard. Whole different new perspective for me happening. I am so tall. What?
That was one.
I am so tall that you have to climb, my kids have to climb a ladder to give me a kiss on the cheek in the morning. I am so tall that I no longer need step stools to get into the cabinets in my kitchen.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I like it.
Yeah,
All right, debrief.
yeah.
Right.
What did you notice?
I noticed that once you kind of latched on to the first, I am so tall that I'm whatever that it kind of sort of themed, the whatever it was, sort of associations were interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, my debrief would be that it just made me stop and think. I mean, I really had to reflect how I could answer that and have it be somewhat who I am.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be who you are also.
Right, right,
You can just
right.
be completely made up.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun to not have it not be who I was.
Well, one of
I
the things that I remembered was as a kid when I went to my Sunday school is there was a song that said, I want to be a sunbeam. So that was kind of what popped in my head.
I noticed that Sandy is now much closer to the camera than she was before.
Oh yeah.
And that the energy really shifted between the four of us. It feels
Right.
a little
Yeah.
bit different in the room.
Right.
It's it's so neat when that happens. That's my favorite of all of our exercises right now. That one I just love. Betsy, you want to do a little 3-word?
Sure. So 3-word coaching is just where it's 3-word conversation. So it doesn't necessarily have to be coaching. But usually one person is in the role of either the coach or the listener. So Amy and we can demonstrate it and then have the two of you do it. Do you want to do it that way?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to coach?
Sure.
Or you want me to? You coach. You coach.
I'll coach you.
You coach me. Oh wait, I gotta think of something. Okay. Get ready.
Are you ready?
I think so.
What would help?
Word for year.
In reflective mode.
I am. Flowed.
And forward thinking.
I love word.
Mm-hmm. What's the value?
Creativity. Intentionality. Intention. Centering.
And possible words?
Ooh, 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 ooh. Purposeful. Attraction. Magic.
Where's the juice?
Mm. Mm. In purpose.
Mm. What means purpose?
Meaningful, sustainable, heart.
Meaningful, sustainable, heart.
Um, for the world.
Mm. How's word fit?
Trying it on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm. Open to change.
Sensation will guide.
Mhm. Word is powerful.
Mm-hmm. Powerful and important.
What's your learning?
Mm. New direction, churning.
Please say more.
Um, I'm feeling focused.
Enjoying the grappling.
Um, I'm past grappling.
Mm. You have purpose.
I have purpose.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Betsy. Mm-hmm.
Before we make you do it, thoughts? Thoughts about that?
Okay, so we choose someone's you can only say 3 words.
Yes. So you decide who's in the coach role.
But you wanted thoughts about how that looked to us? Is that what you were asking?
Yes, exactly. Like what did what was interesting to you in that?
One of the things that Sue taught us, one of the things that she used as a teaching tool for our staff was I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I'm wanting.
Mhm.
And I felt like you were kind of unpeeling the artichoke. You were by doing that and going back and forth like that. You're kind of checking because you were able to check for clarity. So oftentimes, Betsy, you almost would repeat some of the words that Amy had said as if a, and there's more. I heard you say, And that's one of the things that we talk about as far as clarity and communication. And I think that process was apparent in what you were doing.
Yeah, I saw the clarity come. Yeah.
I noticed something this time around that somehow I'm not sure I'd noticed before, was how hard the client, in this case Amy, works to have whatever the coach says make sense.
Right. Response. Yeah, you were definitely intentionally thinking about it, Amy, before you responded to her.
So that there's a real, like,
Right.
I could feel the desire for communication,
Yeah.
but also the generosity on the part of the client. I'm not sure I've noticed before.
Say a bit more about the generosity, how that showed up.
Well, I think sometimes, we've seen coaches be like, "Oh, I asked the wrong question," or "I shouldn't have said that," or whatever. But or make a reflection that wasn't. They're afraid of making a wrong reflection. The client's going to be like, "No, that's not it." But in fact, the clients they really want the coach to succeed, and so they're not judging what the coach is saying. They're really trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I see the partnership.
Right. They're respecting your effort, Betsy, to direct.
And almost going back to the original word, which was help. I mean, you started out with help. So the reciprocity coming back was generous. Yeah.
I realized when I said, "What would," and I'm like, "Oh no, I've used 2 of the words already and I haven't said anything." So,
That's
very smooth.
Yeah.
I saw that actually. I saw that. You were like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Hard to put those constraints on it.
So, would you like to do
Okay,
it?
sure. Sandy, what do you want to be?
You be the coach.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's put 2 more thoughts just in the back of your head. One is Betsy or I will cue you. Betsy, why don't you cue them at about, we usually do it about 5-7 minutes. So Betsy will cue you to start to bring it to a close.
Okay.
Don't worry about getting anywhere specific, get to where you get to. And one other thought, since you are a coach, keep in mind the idea of having an agenda for the session, or the kind of what we call the coach-client agreement.
Okay.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to ask you, so it's okay for the coach to come back and use the same word, or it's okay for the other person to use the same word that the person brought. I saw you doing that back and forth. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see what Betsy did was a variety of questions and reflections. And so those are available to you, Sue, as the coach. You don't have to worry. It's you as the coach know when to reflect and when to ask the question.
You can't do it wrong.
Okay. I have a hunch. Is that 4 words? I have a hunch. I have a hunch.
I'm wanting to learn.
Tell me more.
Connection, transparency, trust.
Tell me a secret.
Challenging, tough experiences.
Seeing the mirror.
Responsibility, accountability, inspired.
Who am I?
leader, shaker, joy-filled.
Who are you?
Insight, loving, connected.
I want more.
Grace-filled, heart, positiveness. Positiveness, is that a word? Positivity.
Who you serve.
Community, church, family.
Best time ever.
Real conversations, connections.
Tomorrow looks like.
Development, growth, well-being.
What you learn.
Myself, introspection, showing up.
My hunch is.
Growth is important.
Depth over breadth.
Unfake. Digging deep.
Real to me.
Dirt digging girl.
Where does it go?
Around my circle.
Circle back, please.
Relationships. Experiences. Joy.
Bring it to a close, Sue.
Yeah, this will be it. What's the point?
Living life well.
Okay. It got easier to use 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a couple times I may have used 4.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh my God.
We're leaving.
She said we couldn't do it wrong.
Yeah. And
That
I
was,
think at
that was
first
cool.
people think a lot about the 3 words, but really it's not about that. It's about
Right.
what are you really trying to say?
Yeah.
What else? What else did you notice?
Hard to pinpoint clarity in the client
Mm-hmm.
when you just have 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm very verbose.
I think it made me stop and pause again it really, I think it really pushed on the reflection of me individually as a person and my worldview and my life goals.
That's good. That was part of the purpose. So
Yeah.
I noticed there was a couple of exchanges. You said who you serve, and Sandy immediately knew 1, 2, 3,
yeah.
and then that was followed by best time ever, and then Sandy really took some time to think, and it was so interesting to see that both the kind of like just that fast response and the slow response were both really powerful.
I also, one of the things as a coach that I love about the 3-word coaching when I'm coaching in these scenarios, I mean, I'm not doing this with, we don't bring this to our clients. Some
Right.
people have, but is the release of the responsibility. For example, Sue, you said that, you know, you want clarity for her, and you can't create that for her because you're limited in your words. But for Sandy, or what I experience as a client in the 3-word, is often I get great clarity. And my coach doesn't necessarily have as much clarity as I do as a result of the conversation, because I know the story and she does, or
Right.
they don't, or he doesn't.
Right.
That's really not the point, is it?
Right.
It's the client's clarity. Yeah, and I can just, this is pretty, it might be pretty intimate for a team to witness this, which is fine, but you know.
Well, what we would typically do if we were doing this with a group, we would demonstrate it for the whole group, and then we would send them into breakouts to do it in private.
Okay, yeah.
So they, you know, can really have that experience of only really being intimate with one other person, and there's no record of it, no recording.
Yeah.
Because I think you're right. It's, you know, there's that, we want people to feel comfortable being vulnerable. And so the more the group activities, the more things that are in front tend to be less vulnerable.
What do you do when you are the coach and the client isn't going there with you? They're being superficial. I suppose you just
well, I mean, that's a great question, whether you're doing improv or not. Just but I think if, you know, what I've noticed as a coach is if the session is boring to me, we're not going deep enough.
Yeah.
And so it may be to, you know, certainly offer some opportunities for the client to go deeper. And then if the client is really not wanting to, you might even reflect that.
Yeah.
Or just noticing this.
Play with words. Yeah. Just play with them. Yeah.
It popped into my mind. I was just thinking about it, that if you had a leader who put those 3 words out and asked people for feedback, a word apiece, as to what those 3 words did, and if you process that out, if you as a group or entity did not have a mission statement, I would think that would be a great way of how having them, you know, taking the words that people are popping out with in the whole group so that they're all part of the process, and being able to come up with something that would be reflecting your mission for your company or your entity.
I only would be a little afraid of that because people might be too formative and want to please, you know, to say words that they thought the leader wanted to hear. I mean, if you did it with the whole group.
Right. Yeah.
It is an interesting issue when you have a group where there are, you know, where we try really hard to have everyone on equal footing.
Yeah.
And so if we're working with, you know, the facilitators or the leaders they got to do the silly stuff too.
Yeah.
And it really is important for the facilitators, I think, to really work toward a level playing field.
Right. I think, though, that if you did this, you know, in breakout, it's going to give the individuals clarity so that they would come forth with these words and what it means to them more easily than if they didn't do that work first. You know.
one of the places I think I've seen it as most applicable, let's say with individual clients, is if I have a client who is verbose or is being told by leadership that, or by people that they manage, that they need to present better or be more succinct. And it's difficult for the client to understand that what's important to say and what's not important to say.
Mhm.
And so this can be a really neat exercise, whether it's me with an individual client or we're sending people into breakouts, that they begin to have a sense of what do others really need to know? Do they really need that whole story? Do they really need all of the background? What are the choices that I'm making here as I communicate?
Right.
Yeah, I like that. And what jumps into my mind is people becoming aware of whether they're internal or external processors. You know what I mean? It's so important in communication. And then I need to tailor how I present things because everybody doesn't communicate the way I do.
Mhm.
But because that's so important in teams to understand that. So what else did you guys see?
Well, one thing that's interesting being on the other side of it as an observer, I don't really know what's going on.
Mhm.
I don't know what Sandy's talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And I can see something happening.
Mhm.
And that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you're listening to a foreign language, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And then there you can really see what Betsy pointed out, those light bulb moments
Mm-hmm.
of either deep pause or
Yeah.
like that jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
That's those kind of the
That was
rhythm of it was fascinating.
great noticing, about the pace and the yeah.
What about you guys?
I also just really like seeing the way how different people converse and learning from other coaches or leaders. Um, I think one of the things we really try to get people to do when they're watching each other is to not think, what would I say in that moment?
Yeah.
Which is our normal. I think we do that just
Right.
normally, but to step away from that for a moment and think, what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting about that? And I think people really come to appreciate other people's styles, but also to appreciate their own and to see how we really do each have our own style, and that is good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
it's hard to do this and not like people more.
Right. Right.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we respect and like each other more, and we notice not just what's said, but what isn't said,
Mm-hmm.
and the body language, and things like that, which is so very important. I mean, sometimes when you don't hear anything, you learn so much just from the interactive body language and the energy. So, all right. So what we're going to move towards closure here, but I want to know, is there one thing that you want to tell either Sandy and I or our audience? What is something that needs to get out?
Play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Play and have fun,
Yeah.
like we were talking about
Yes.
earlier.
Yes.
But play is so important, especially in a shifting, unpredictable world.
Yeah.
The more that we play together, the more that we create bonds and form understanding.
Yes. Absolutely. Betsy?
Yeah. I got nothing to add to that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, play is a form of communication, isn't it?
It builds trust
Uh-huh.
and skill, and it really is, it never gets old.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
We do, but it doesn't.
And the ability to play.
Speak for yourself, Betsy. I am forever young.
Okay, so I have one question I ask at the end of all of our podcasts, and it's, what's one takeaway? And Amy, I'll let you go first, then we'll do Betsy, then Sandy, then me. One takeaway.
That how powerful it is to be in this kind of space and to feel like I stepped in. I didn't know Sandy, and we had had one conversation with you, Sue, and the depth as opposed to the breadth of knowing feels so different than an hour ago.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a callback to Stu and Sandy's 3-word conversation too. Bonus point.
Yes.
I think what I'm really taking away is just the generosity of inviting us into what you've created and to play with you. Thank you.
Yes. Sandy, takeaway?
I love the transparency that I believe these ladies bring in their training. You can't really fake it very well, I don't believe. Again, it's everybody's own individual responsibilities to what they learn, how they come to the plate as far as what do I want to get out of this, how do I want to implement it. But I think this sets up the stage for transparency if a person is willing to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking away the instant, maybe it wasn't quite instant, but quickly, how we formed community and built on, whether it was intuitive trust or whether, wherever the trust came from, it's been there during our conversation.
Yes.
And it was wonderful.
Thank you,
So,
ladies.
yes, thank you for coming. We want to invite you back. I want to teach this stuff. So you guys, keep doing it, because the word's got to get out. I'm going to close, but I want you to hang on for just a minute because we're going to debrief. Okay? Hang on.